So we've created a form in Google Drive. So I just wanted to go over a couple of other basic features for forms to make your life a little bit easier, so that you can have some variety in the forms that you create. So the first thing that I wanted to show you is that if you have created your form and realize that your questions aren't in exactly the order that you want them in, you can click on a question and these little dots right here. If you click on that, you can move the question to the order that you want it and reorder them however you see fit. The other thing I wanted to show you is this button is to delete a question if you decide you no longer need it. You can also duplicate a question if you know you're going to have similar questions and don't want to have to create the whole question again from scratch. I use that a lot if I have multiple choice questions and there are several questions that maybe have the same answers, but the question's just different. It makes it a lot easier to duplicate the question so I don't have to retype those answers all over again. And then also for some questions, you can add a title in between questions so that if you want another section on the same page and you need another set of instructions or a set of descriptions for that section, you can add that there. You can also add an image. So I'm just going to go to Google Drive and pick a question. So here's a student work sample. So if you want to put an image in there that you want people to see as they're filling out the form, you can insert that in wherever you want to in between questions. And then you can also decide, do you want the picture centered? You can also delete it or change the picture from this menu. You can also add videos in. You can only bring in videos from YouTube, so you have to make sure whatever you want to put in there is on YouTube. So you can either search for YouTube here in the box, or if you know the website of the YouTube video, you can put that here. I just made a video previously, so I'm just going to copy the link to that one and put it here. So if you want, if you're making this for your class and you wanted them to look at a video before answering some questions, you can insert videos as well. And you can also add sections. So this, if you have a pretty lengthy form, then sometimes it's nice to add sections. So you can break the section here. So if you want to just these questions, and then after this, you can choose which section that they go to next. And this is nice that if you have if you're collecting data, but you have several different categories of data that you want to collect, you can create different sections so that it's clearly delineated when you've moved on to a new section of questions that you're asking. Also, if you create sections, you can, at the end of a section, you can click on these little 3 dots right here. Let me go to this one. So you have this option, go to section based on answer. So you can create several different sections in a form and only have people answer certain sections if they give you a certain answer on a question. So you can direct people to different sections based on how they answer a question. And you can also, for each question, there are some other options that show up here. You can create a description. So if you typed in phone number because you wanted to get people's phone numbers, then you could put a description on here that says, give them a little bit more information about what you want. Please give me the best number to use to contact you. And then the next thing I want to show you is if you click up here, these little three dots, there are a couple options here. It took me a while to find this on Google Forms because it's really easy on Google Docs or on Google Slides. If you make a mistake, there's an undo button right at the top usually. And for a long time, I didn't realize that there was an undo button on Google Forms. But if you click these three dots right up here, if you make a mistake, delete something by accident, there is an undo button under these three dots. You can also make a copy of your form. So if you want to give the form to different groups of people, but you need all the same information, then you can make a copy, and then you'll have two different places for responses. Obviously, you can delete it. You can print your form if you want to see these things on paper. You can share your forms with other people. So if you want other people to be able to edit your form, then you can do that here. And then the last thing I want to show you for this video is the preview button. This is a great button for making sure that you have everything where you need it to be and that everything functions well before you send it to people to fill out. So if you hit the preview button, it'll pull up a preview of what this will actually look like to the people that you're going to send this to fill out. So you can check everything and make sure everything on here looks the way that you want it to look and functions the way that you want it to function. And so once again, if you have any questions about any of this information for Google Forms or anything else Google related, please do not hesitate to come by and see me.